Several issues bordering on the state of the nation and pointers to the 2023 presidency cropped up as different political blocs meet and strategize. And the senators approved the federal government's request for a $6.1 billion loan request. Hello everyone and welcome to Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. Let's begin by telling you that the Senate has approved the federal government's request for a $6.1 billion loan request, and that's about 2.343 trillion naira. The Senate gave the approval today after it considered a report from its Committee on Local and Foreign Debt, which it earlier directed to work on the loan request. President Muhammadu Buhari had earlier in May asked the National Assembly to approve the loan request, saying it will be raised for multilateral and bilateral tenders as well as the international capital market. The National Assembly has also approved the sum of 982.729 billion naira as supplementary budget for the 2021 fiscal year. The approved sum represents an upward review of 86.9 billion from the initial amount of 895.842 billion transmitted to the National Assembly by President Muhammadu Buhari about 2 weeks ago. Before we get into our discussion for tonight, let's serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
President Muhammadu Buhari has decorated the newly appointed Chief of Army Staff, Farouk Yahaya, with the new rank of Lieutenant General. The ceremony had in attendance the service chiefs and other heads of security agencies. The event also witnessed by members of the cabinet as well as the chairman of Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Army. The newly appointed Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Yahaya, takes over from the late Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru, who died in a military plane crash on May the 21st this year, alongside 10 other Army officers.
Also continue to do our very best to arrest this challenge we have.
The People's Democratic Party Board of Trustee Chairman Wali Jibrin has called on the Fulani community in Enugu State to always ensure peaceful coexistence with the citizens of the state. He was addressing the group after the party's closed-door meeting with the State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi at Government House Enugu, which lasted for about 5 hours. One of the board members, Adolphus Wabara, also told journalists that the meeting was about national issues and how to address security challenges.
They are ready to give you all the cooperation and help needed.
The leadership of the All Progressives Congress in Imo State has welcomed to its fold a former PDP senatorial aspirant from Imo East Senatorial District and PDP chieftain in Imo State, Ugochukwu Harry Nwachukwu, popularly called Ugo Sly, and several of his supporters. The event, which took place at the APC Secretariat along Okigwe Road in Owerri, the Imo State capital, had in attendance the chairman of the party in the state, Markan Lemigo, the Apex APC leader in Mbeitole local government, and other top APC chieftains in the state.
I am here not by myself. I am here with a squad of people.
Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal has assented to 2 bills passed by the State House of Assembly granting autonomy to both the state legislature and judicial arms of government. While signing the bill into law, Governor Tambuwal says no governor in Nigeria is opposed to granting autonomy to the 2 arms of government, but are only concerned about the constitutionality of the Order 10 issued by President Muhammadu Buhari.
We all believe in democratic tenets and we must all go by the Constitution.
And the Federal High Court today says former Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun under the Constitution does not require to present her first-degree certificate, including the NYSC certificate, to be appointed a minister. Justice Taiwo added that the ministerial appointment of Adeosun was constitutional and legal, even without presenting an NYSC certificate. The court ruled that the former Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun was ineligible for National Youth Service Corps. According to the ruling, she was not supposed to present herself for the service as at the time of graduation because under the 1979 Constitution, which was in force as at that time, she was not a Nigerian citizen, either at her graduation or when she turned 30.
Well, so let's begin tonight. Yesterday, the governors of the Northeast region met in Jalingo, the capital of Taraba State, and are asking the military to sustain the momentum in the fight against insurgency in the region by taking advantage of the current division amongst the insurgents. The governors also asked the federal government to extend the exploration of oil to the Chad basins so as to put the Northeast states on the list of oil-rich states. During the meeting to discuss security of the region, among other matters, the governor of Taraba State, Darius Ishaku, highlighted the need to ensure that the Mambila hydropower project becomes operational. The governor of Borno State appreciated the effort of the military in containing insurgency in the region. He, however, asked for the repair of electricity transmission lines destroyed by the insurgents. But for more on the situation in the Northeast and the developments there, let's speak with the host of yesterday's meeting and the governor of Taraba State, Governor Darius Ishaku. He joins us from Abuja. It's a pleasure to have you on the program, Your Excellency, Governor of Taraba State. Thank you indeed for joining us tonight. Let's begin with looking at some specifics. Perhaps from your own point of view, you are a second-term governor, and you have seen it all, if I may put it that way, the problems and the challenges of the region. A region bedeviled by the issue of insurgency. But from your own point of view, where you're standing, what would you say is perhaps the most daunting or the most challenge that is being faced by the leadership of the region or by the people of the region at the moment?
At the moment, the problem we're still facing up to now is insurgency, banditry, insecurity, information. We still have those problems. Although it has been greatly reduced, we're happy about it, but the pressure must be sustained. The pressure must be sustained, and the government must sit up to make sure that insurgency, banditry is completely stamped out of the region. For us in the Northeast, everything has come to a standstill, including agriculture. The ordinary local farmer cannot go to his farm to farm. And so food production has gone up, and people can hardly buy. I was asking before our meeting started, a bag of corn that used to be 7,000, maximum 10,000, is now 25,000 naira. It's outrageous for the ordinary man. And these are the problems we are faced with because people cannot get to the farms. You go to the farm, you risk your life. It is better, it is being contained, but the problems are still there of insecurity. Our labor leader was kidnapped 2 days ago in his home. And that is the second time he is being kidnapped right in the heart of the city. This is one of the things we are suffering from. Kidnapping, banditry, insurgency.
Would you say, Governor, that the situation is better compared to 6 years ago when you became governor?
Of course, yes. It's much, much better. For the last maybe 6 months, it's much better for the last 6 months than it were in the beginning. It's much better. At least the graph is coming down a little, but we will need to sustain the effort. And I will still request the federal government that those who are along the border regions and those villages who are hard to reach, they must teach them how to manage to use the guns to protect themselves. You can't leave human beings like this at the whims and caprices of somebody who moves with AK-47. This is wrong. They should turn like 10 or 20 people in each village along the axis of the boundaries. At least they can protect themselves. At least you can't come there and kidnap the whole 100 and something people, and then they are demanding ransom, and then be killing them one after the other. Something must be done practically, something that works practically. I believe that some people must be trained, even in the villages.
Okay, so
And
I
I
mean,
still,
your reference point now is perhaps on the issue of how we can organize community policing. That is being a major issue. I know you're talking about citizens also arming themselves with weapons to defend themselves. That is not
yes.
captured in our law. Are you advocating for such a
Well,
thing, and how will that happen?
look, the law is made for a living human being. The law is not made for a dead human being. Chienyu, you have to be alive to be in that studio. If somebody kills you on your way here, you can't be saying that. When the security can protect you, then something in the alternative must come in. We must be practical. Or train people, give them practical induction, let them know what to do. If you leave me, the NYC, I would say, should be 2 years. 1 year for compulsory military training, and the other year for the social work that they are doing now. So that anybody who graduates as an NYC person can know how to handle the gun, can know how to defend himself. Just like it's done in other countries, like in Israel, like in Lebanon and other places. You must engage your citizens to be proactive. When you cannot provide the security, you must allow the people to protect themselves. Constitution or no constitution, you first have to be alive.
Let me ask you this very rather crucial part, because of it's something that is on the minds of a lot of people, because from 2009 or so, when this insurgency reared its head, ugly head, a lot of people have been asking, and the federal government had come out in the last few years to say, there are people who are sponsoring these insurgents. As a governor, have you been able to wrap your head around what exactly or who exactly are these sponsors? Why is it difficult that we are not able to know or identify those who are sponsoring these insurgents? Do we know them? Do you have an idea?
As a governor, I have asked these questions several times to even the security agencies during our meetings. I asked, number one, who are these insurgents? Where do they get the AK-47? Why is it that they are invisible? That they are not being caught? So if these three questions are not answered, then you know, of course, that there are sponsors. These are brand new AK-47. How will a local man go and buy such an expensive weapon? It is in the cassette, in video, all over the place, where somebody was confessing that these guns are provided to them and that they have been trained on them. It's the work of the security agencies to get out to the root of this. Who are the people? Where are they getting these guns? Why is it that they are not able to be caught? Why are they impossible? If they can go out of this country and capture people who are declaring for independence, then why are they not able to detect who are killing our own citizens here in the country, in the farms? Shay, there is more to it than meets the eye.
Do you think perhaps this is political? Do you think that it has some political undertone? Because, I mean, if it's difficult to unravel...
It is absolutely political, and even more than political. It is more than political.
Do you see external powers or external influence in trying to trouble the Nigerian waters?
No, this problem is Nigerian grown. It's Nigerian born. If there are external people who are coming to us here, are we so foolish to destroy ourselves? I mean, we have had independence since the 60s. We have grown. If it's education, if it's whatever, we're now educated. We're illiterate. We know what to do. And our citizens have elected us into position to protect them, not to kill them. Who will come from outside to influence you to go and kill your citizen? What for? This is a home problem. This is homegrown, and it must be solved internally at home.
What do you suppose will be perhaps, because you said that things are abating gradually and somehow in the last 6 months. But what do you suppose could be the problem to nip this problem in the bud?
If we stand up, put our foot down, that this problem should be erased in 3 months, it will go. If we say, look, we have very brilliant Nigerian soldiers. We have very brilliant Nigerian policemen. We have very brilliant, call them. They have gone to Congo. They have gone to all over the place. They have fought war all over the place. And they have won, they have defeated, they have brought peace in other countries. Why not in our own country? Why not in Nigeria? We are capable of doing it. We, the Nigerians, can solve this problem. All they need, the wherewithal. Give the military the equipment, give them the training, give them the facilities, and allow them. Give the same thing to the police. Recruit proper people, give them proper training. They will do this job and allow them, give them target, they will do it. Nigerians are very good, both military, police-wise, and other. They are all equal to the task. Give them this task. I'm telling you, if the government wants to do it, in 3 months, it will be a thing of the past.
Governor Ishaku, if you were the president today and you said that if government want to do it, they can make this happen in 3 months. If you were President Buhari today, what would you do differently?
What I would do differently, I'll listen to people. I'll listen to people. Wide consultation. Wide consultation. And I'm telling you, you will get a solution from where you least expect it. We used to have boys in the security service that are living outside this country, from here to Tripoli and outside. They are giving information on daily basis on those who are coming into this country and those who are going out. They are giving reports. The reports are there. If you track it properly, you will know where the arms are coming if it's outside this country. But I tell you, this arms is within this country. The people causing the problem are within this country. They need to be tracked.
All right. So, I mean, when you say the people that are causing this are in the country, are they politicians?
What? All the time you narrow it to politicians. Is it only politicians that are living in Nigeria? We have so many different people, not only politicians, but we, the politicians, have voted to give solutions to problems. And we cannot. We have 8 years to go. 6 years is gone. And the 6 years, you use almost 3/4 of the time about security, solving problem of security. Most of the money has gone into paying for security. Instead of building schools, instead of building hospitals, instead of providing water, instead of providing agricultural inputs to people to eat cheaper and to develop their places, to give them light, we are using it on security. It's wrong. It's not only the politicians that will blame.
Governor, I mean,
we are being blamed because we are in control. We are on the seat. It's not only the politicians.
But who exactly are these people? I mean, from what you are hearing.
I'm not a security agent. I'm not a security official. But the security people who are in that position should be able to give us this answer. You can't tell me that all the security that we have here, all of them don't know where this is coming and don't know what to do. I don't agree with that. I absolutely don't agree. But they are all intelligent. They are all not. Now, you see, it depends if the security man gives you correct information and you refuse to use it. If today the security man brings me a report that there is going to be an attack in Jalingo, and I turn the report upside down, and people are killed, is it the fault of the security man? It's my fault, because I didn't use the report. And I believe they're giving this report. But it depends. If you use that report properly, if you act properly, if you act in time, then you nip the problem in the bud.
So if you look at it now, there is a problem of out-of-school children, which is a major problem in the northeast region of the country. If you look at it, over 1 million out-of-school children are there in the northeast region. That's the United Nations statistics. And it also shows that northeast region is home to 60% of Nigeria's 13 million out-of-school children. Let me ask you first and foremost, the Almajiri schools built by the Jonathan administration, where are they? Are they still functional?
No, they are not, and I don't think the concept was good. You can't just build a Majiri school for one section of a person. The concept and the model was wrong. But what they are doing now seems to be working, because we have tried the new system that I think is the World Bank or UNDP that is bringing it. But the system they have brought now seems to be working. We have tried it for like 1.5 years. It's working very well in Taraba State. And we've gotten a lot of people out of school already. We are now trying to improve on it to make sure that more of the out-of-school children go back to school. But you see, the displacement of people from their place of birth is also causing problem. The insecurity will still come back to it. So you find that the IDP camps, the children are gone there, but their parents have to evacuate them from where they are. So where they are maybe is completely where there is no school. And then before you get them, it's 1 year or some months after to get them, to fix them to a school where they can go. We have been trying that, but it's not easy. Insecurity, if there is no insecurity, out of school children, we are already managing them. Those within the city, those within the confines of safer areas. For the last 1.5 years, we have been able to tame them. We have been able to get them to school.
Like the former Emir of Kano State and the former CBN Governor Lamido Sanusi said that the northern region is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. How dangerous is it for allowing some of these kids to roam the streets, and the unemployed or the idle northern youths that are not gainfully employed? How dangerous, and what are your fears about the situation?
It's very, very dangerous. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. And an uneducated idle mind is worse than a devil's workshop. Because that's just a mind waiting to be induced, waiting to take anything, to do anything that is bad. The onus lies on us, the leaders, to be able to educate our people and to educate them to the best level we can. We have been doing it, I said, in Taraba particularly. We have been #1 in the north for how many years now? About 4. We are working assiduously. It's not that we have perfected yet. No, it's still work in progress. We have built so many primary schools. We have renovated virtually all the ones that we met on ground, built new ones. And we have trained and retrained teachers. I didn't retrain any teacher. I have this employment of 3,000 teachers. We call them rescue teachers. Some 4 years ago, those rescue teachers did wonderful. We were bringing people to train them in their schools and in their centers, sometimes in Jalingo. They train and retrain them, and they did wonderfully well. Excuse me. They did wonderfully well, and they're still performing. And we're adding to their numbers. So all you need to do is to incentivize the teachers. We train them and retrain them, and we monitor them. We monitor them on every weekly basis. Our supervisors are on the field monitoring them, and that has helped.
All right. So, because there is, on the issue of insurgency, there is the locally grown Boko Haram insurgents who are in conflict with ISWAP, the foreign insurgents. That scenario, how would you describe it? Is it a good news for the insurgency war if those guys are at war, at loggerheads? And perhaps, what dimension are you drawing into this? Looking at the ungoverned territories, the vast borders across the borders, the northern region of the country, and perhaps the danger that looms in that region, considering the crisis in Libya and some other countries that are neighbors.
You see, for us, whether it's Boko Haram or Isawa or whatever, is bad news. Whoever is in control there is bad news. What we need to do as a country is to get this bad news behind us. And that is to face the war, face them squarely, And I have just told you before now that we have able Nigerian military and police and all the paramilitary forces. We have very good Nigerian soldiers. They will solve this problem. We need to give them the political backing.
We are due for a break in just about 60 seconds. But there's something that the governor of Borno State said at that meeting yesterday. He's asking that there should be repair of electricity transmission lines and the rebuilding of some infrastructure. But the problem here is that, is it safe to start rebuilding? Is it safe to start fixing some of this infrastructure?
You see, I sympathize with my colleague in Borno. I think it's almost 6 months. They don't have light. All the towers that bring light into Borno State has been blown off by the Boko Haram, and they don't have light. I will wish that the Ministry of Power could devise a way of using possibly solar light in some critical areas, to give them solar light, in some villages to provide them solar, because on those axes where we are, it's high, there is sunshine, almost 2/3 of the day. That will help. But when you are evacuating power to our state, it comes via the high tension lines, and they blow off those lines. So the light doesn't get to where it's going. That is the problem. There has to be an alternative source of power.
We'll take a break, Governor Ishaku, and when we come back, perhaps we'll take you on some politics. Well, our second guest on the program is the sponsor of the Press Council Bill, the controversial bill, and he's going to be talking to us about that bill and why it should not be killed. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on Politics Today on Channels Television. The governor of Taraba State, His Excellency Governor Darius Ishaku, is our guest tonight, and he's been speaking with us from Abuja. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time tonight. A lot of people are worried about the situation in the northeast region of the country, but on the minds of a lot of people is the solution, and you've been talking about what possibly could be the solution. But in your own state of Taraba, because states are having problems because of the issues of exploration of oil and the income revenue from oil and all of that, IGR, the federal government has said there's a revenue problem, and we're not at reach as we think. In your state, IGR is not that fantastic. You fall below the medium ladder in IGR, and in fact, FAC, you fall below the medium ladder. How are you hoping that you'll be able to increase the wealth of the state and create more revenue?
Well, those states that have oil, of course, they enjoy the 13% derivative. So the graph is like this, and I always joke with one of my colleagues in the South that he should come and purchase the whole 6 of us in the Northeast, because our graph is just lower down there. But luckily, they have gotten oil in Gombe and Bauchi, Axis, and even in Taraba State, we have oil. It's just that they have not started drilling, and large quantity of gas. So in the Benue Trough, up to Chad Basin area, it's suspected that there is oil. But you see, the fashion of oil is already going out. I'm sure in the next 10 years, they will not be talking about oil in the world market. They will be talking more of gas and renewable energy. And so, those who are enjoying that benefit, they better make hay when the sun shines. They better make hay, invest for their people, so that when this oil dwindles, because the Western world is not waiting on us. They are planning. They're already using gas cars. They're using solar-powered cars. So they will not need your oil in a few years to come. We must move faster in developing things like gas, and move faster in plugging into areas that could help us and particularly agriculture, so that we do not import food. If we can do that, like I understand Venezuela is doing, if we can do that, it will help us that we have used the oil revenue sensibly. Now, if you come to a rural state like mine, you are talking of IGR. The biggest factory in my state is the civil service. That's why I cannot retrench even one person, because every one person has 10 to 15 dependents on him. So I cannot just wake up one night and sack 3,000. There will be more than 3,000 times 10,000 crying in the whole state. I can't afford it.
It will get to a point that you might not be able to bear the wage of, the burden of paying their wages at some point. If the revenue problem
already I'm there. Already I'm there. I'm just trying the best. The money we get from the federal government, when it comes in, virtually all goes to salary payment. But what I'm telling you, we are working hard on our IGR. But the IGR that will really get you out of this is if they start exploiting the oil that we are getting down in our area.
But Governor, let me comment.
Yes?
Apologies, because I look at Taraba State, for example. Salt in large quantity around the Wukari area is found there. Marble in large deposits is found around areas like Ibi, Karimi, Lamido, areas in Taraba State. Are you looking inwards in some of the non-oil deposits and natural resources that you have in your state?
We have a lot of those minerals. 2 weeks ago, some Chinese in Arufu that are mining with over 14 people, 2 people were killed, the other people are kidnapped. Up to now, we have not gotten them yet. So you go into the bush, it is not safe. You go into the mining, it is not safe. You go into the farm, it is not safe. Everything moves around security. You need to get that. Look, Taraba State is the largest place we can get income as IGR is in tourism. But who will go to a touristic site when he knows he will not come back alive?
But Governor, have you spoken with President Buhari about this? Have you met him? Have you spoken about the situation in your state? The reason why you cannot generate more money, because if you cannot generate more money, you simply cannot do anything for your people. Have you had this conversation?
I have just told you the main problem we have in the Northeast, the major #1 problem we have is security. If they can give us the security, then we'll manage the other problems. Will I come and be determined President Buhari to go and manage Taraba for me? He has enough. You can imagine, I'm managing only one state out of 36. I'm having headache. Then you imagine the president who is managing the whole country. I go and load him. What I need from him is security, because he has the wherewithal. I don't have the army. I don't have the police. If I have these 2 people, then I will not even, you will not even tell me to go to Buhari. But the president has enough problem. Why should I go there? I should manage my state. And I'm doing the best I can.
All right.
Let them give us security. Some of us will turn our states around.
Okay. Let's go into politics in the few minutes that I have with you. The first is there is this debate about where the presidency should come from in 2023. The southern governors have made a position. They said it should come from the south. Do you agree?
Well, if they say so, fair is fair. I mean, we in the north are having 8 years. But, you know, politics, it depends on your party. If today my party presents a southern candidate, I will work for him. So it depends on the party. I wish it will be a general rule of the term that, okay, after 8 years, we shift from north to south. After 8 years, we shift from south to north. If we can be doing that, I think in some manner and sense, it will bring credibility and balance in the polity. But we should not say, oh, presidency must be here or there. We will mature into a level like they are in the US. They don't care where the presidency comes from. Even a black man from Africa has gone and has been the president. That is a level of maturity. They have matured into it. We have not yet. So we may have to be doing the balancing to be able to get to a maturity state.
All right.
I will work for whoever my party gives me.
Okay, so I mean, you've some of your friends in the PDP, your governor friends, about 3 of them have left the PDP for the APC in the last few months. Have you been consulted about a possible defection? Has the APC approached you?
APC has not approached me, but what they did to them, they are doing to some of us. They are using the security against us in all manners and facets, calling all our people in all manners and facets, searching all the books of every nooks and corner. Huh? So when it's such of like they want to purge, they are purging those people. Most of the people that left will understand that they put them in the corner, they cannot say no, they then move there and they promise them they will not disturb them again. They must stop that because we must develop this democracy credibly. If we don't develop democracy credibly, the country will be worse off. We don't want a dictator. We don't want a one party in Nigeria. It's wrong. We should have a multi-party. We should have criticism in the system. They don't approach people by putting security on them, checking all the. They are approaching. They are approaching people by putting them under pressure.
All right, so Governor, we're out of time, but this is my final question. I actually wanted to know whether you're going to go into the Senate after leaving office as governor. Is that part of your plan?
I have always told people that God works out my plan for me. I never knew I'll be a minister. I never knew I'll be a governor. And if I finish the governor and God said that, oh, this is your, I will go back and continue my lecturing and my consultancy services. That was a beautiful life I left. But now I'm serving people. I don't regret it. Because I knew that if I hadn't come, what I have done for my people, I never would have done it for them in any other facet. What I have done for my people, I'm inviting you, Shen, come to Taraba. Have you ever been to Taraba? If you come now, you will see the difference. You will see what I have done in the villages all around. I have 168 wards. There's none I have not developed something into it. I have won Waterman of the Year 3 times. I've won Governor of the Year twice.
All right, Governor, we need to go now. But if Your Excellency, we need to go now. Just in 30 seconds, if you can tell me, your party wants to return to power in 2023. With what we are seeing,
we are working towards it.
Okay, is that possible?
We are working towards it.
Because I mean, a lot of your colleagues are leaving.
It is very possible. They will get their problems when the time comes. It's very possible. We will be in government house. Don't worry, by the grace of God.
Governor Darius Ishaku, the executive governor of Taraba, said, thank you so much for your time tonight. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Let's switch gears now, everyone. And let's talk about the Press Council bill. There are efforts on the Nigerian Press Council amendment. The sponsor of the controversial bill in the House of Representatives, Honorable Segun Odebomi, a member of the APC from Oyo State, has said that the media industry stakeholders have a right to reject the bill entirely or some sections of the proposed law they are not comfortable with. There have been criticisms on the bill, which has been described by some practitioners as perhaps the most draconian media bill that ever existed in the history of Nigeria. The sponsor of the bill, Honorable Segun Odebomi, joins us from Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us at this time. Let me begin by asking you, we would like to know what is on your mind, Honorable, when you were proposing the amendment to that bill and when you brought that idea up. Because practitioners feel very offended by it, and they're saying that it is the most draconian piece of legislation that has ever emerged from Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Odebomi Segun Dispide, like you said, to the glory of God, I'm representing Surulere Ogula Federal Constituency in the National Assembly there. The bill, I like and I appreciate the way you put it. That existing bill. The bill we are talking about is an existing bill. I mean the existing act. Actually, a lot of issues on it. In fact, some are in the court, from High Court to the Appeal Court, even to the Supreme Court right now. But my opinion is that, why do we need to go to court? We are in a democratic era. And the law gives the National Assembly power to amend the law. This is an act. Even the constitution that is very, very cumbersome in the process of amendment. We engage on it on at least 10. But the act is just a process in the National Assembly, which I believe we can work on it and get the best for us. Well, I have the privilege of serving in that committee in the last assembly. And I know this is an existing agency, an existing act. But to the best of my knowledge, the expectation from this press council agency, I'm very sure Nigerians are yet to get it from them. And what can we do to get this from them? It's by amending their law. If you go through the existing and my proposal, you can easily get that. I only work on section 2 by introducing another section there that has to do with the executive secretary, and I thought of maybe we can come up with a board that will come from all the stakeholders. That is my own thinking. And mind you, the process of law is very clear. My own thinking, my own idea cannot make a law. The process is you put it at the public hearing, put it at the table for the stakeholders to make their input and add value to whatever on the table. So to the best of my knowledge, I can use this platform to say it loud and clear that there is no any either invisible or visible hand behind the bill. It is never a bill generated from the executive. It's my personal idea. And I believe whatever that is not friendly in the bill, I mean in the existing acts, the best way to get it out is by amending. You know, the bill is, yes, there is already an existing act. And why are we talking about it at this time around after years of democracy? Why are we talking about it right now? Because it's existing. Had it been in the last 20 years it has been amended, by now nobody will be talking about it again.
All right, Honorable, if I'm coming here quickly, yeah, it's interesting that you have said, because this is some of the criticism, because those who have criticized your effort had said that this is perhaps being sponsored, not perhaps out of the National Assembly, that there being some pressure on you to bring up this bill. These are some of the arguments that have come into play. But that's why I asked a question, what was on your mind when you brought this up? And I'd like to know also, Honorable, do you realize the sensitivity in the land where there are concerns about press freedom, where there are concerns about freedom of expression in the country? Does it look like a good time for you to bring about this kind of amendment that suggests your effort in trying to stifle press freedom?
Like, yeah, I told you, I never plan, and it is never considered purposely to guide the freedom of the press. Mind you, I don't know why we are postponing the evil days. The assembly has a tenure of 4 years. Then why can't you engage in the amendment and get the best for this country?
But honorable,
I will be the first person to
apologies. Yeah, you're saying I agree that there needs to be an amendment. But why do you want the independence of the press, of journalism in the country to be put under the control of government? Why would you want it like that? It's good to amend.
No, I'm not. It's like unless you can tell me that all is well in the industry, even in the government side, in the public side, some people are calling for regulation. Some people for the price. But what I'm telling you, if you go through the bill I propose, I'm proposing that instead of waiting until somebody one day or government will come up with the idea of regulating that would not be acceptable, why can't the stakeholders come together right now and come up with a code that will be guiding the process? And this code will be powered by that agent, by that act. We will be given the body that you have the power to go and make a code that will be guiding the process. At that point, even if there's any problem with any journalist, the government will refer to the body. That they will report you like NJC. They will report to the body, and the body will take the measure within the house.
So let's take these issues one after the other. One of the things that you are proposing is obtaining a license before you can build or start a press hub. That's one of the things that you are proposing. Is that true? Why do you want to propose that?
It's already existing. Check the existing act. It's an existing clause. Go and check. That's what I'm saying.
But you're seeking an amendment to it. No, you are seeking an amendment to it, and basically, what you are saying in that your amendment on your proposal, honorable, so our Nigerians can get you clearly and understand where these issues are. I don't know. Let me ask you frontally: have you? I'm a practitioner within the broadcast sector. Have you read the NBC Act, the amended NBC Code? Have you read it?
Yeah.
Have you read it? So if you've read it, if you've listened, because I know you must have interacted with practitioners in the industry. What do you hope, or what have they told you, the practitioners in the broadcast sector, relating to the NBC Code? Did they tell you that they are aware about some of these things? Did they tell you that they have input in the amendment? Have they told you about their grievances?
Amendment of the NBC? Or which one are you talking about?
The NBC Act and the NBC Code.
The existing NBC Code?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, what is the problem with it?
I'm asking, since you said you are interacting with practitioners so that in the future we do not postpone the evil day, and I'm giving a specific example of the broadcast sector, the grievances of stakeholders in that sector, if you have listened to them.
I said I'm talking about the Press Council, not NBC.
Yeah, I
NBC
understand.
has an existing...
Absolutely. And I'm saying that the reason why people seem to have some doubt about what you're working on, you said you have a good intention. Good. But the content of the amendment and the proposal you are putting forward is suspicious. And those are the issues that people have with it. And I'm putting the issues before you. And I'm giving an example of the broadcast sector, for example, that people feel they're being left out.
No, you know, the NBC Act you are referring is different from the Press Council. The NBC Act dealing with the Press Council is dealing with most of the journalists. And we are talking about journalists when it comes to the issue of Press Council. And what I'm saying, I'm proposing a code under the Press Council that will give the body the power to make a code within themselves. And mind you, the process of law is very clear about this matter. Even if I propose any clause that is not acceptable by the majority, because the law is made for the people and people to honor it. And before you can agree on it, you will go through it. Then you propose, you make an amendment at the public hearing stage. You submit a memorandum. And at the end of the day, we have a clean copy of the bill to be laid back to the National Assembly.
So, I mean, let me, there are just about 2-3 questions that I want to ask within the frame of the few minutes that we have. Given the contentious nature of the issues of how to regulate the media, why didn't the House engage media stakeholders prior to the sponsorship of the amended bill of the MPC and the NBC Act?
Thank you very much for that question. The lay-down procedure for the amending the law, this is exactly what I did that was laid down. You cannot engage on the stakeholder until the public hearing stage. The idea of amending the law is about it may be your personal thinking, it may be some people or group of people sending a memorandum to you that they want you to look into this matter and amend the law for them. But when you come up with a draft, you lay it at the first reading at the National Assembly. Then at the second reading, that is the stage where we are now. In fact, what we are doing right now is still part of the second reading. It's part of the public hearing. It's part of engaging the stakeholders. At that point, you will engage those who in support of the bill, those who are not. You engage you engage the government, you engage the stakeholders, you engage everybody. Then you now come up with a clear copy of the bill.
All right. Perhaps
So
my final question, Honorable, is now that there is a public outcry about the proposed amendment, what do you consider as a way forward, especially given the perception that the committee have vested interest in pushing the bill? Because some stakeholders are saying that the bill must die.
Yeah, good question. Like I told you in the first, that I don't have a personal interest on the matter. But with the experience I have in that area, with the opportunity I have in the last assembly to sign the area, I think we should make use of that opportunity of amending that law to suit whatever reason what we are thinking we are looking for. You know, if the stakeholders at the end of the day said, hey, they concluded that they don't like it, they don't want it, then they have no choice to drop the bill. Because I'm not a practitioner in the industry, and I don't have a personal interest. Okay. But I know at the end of the day, in some years to come, they will come back to appreciate me if you are able to get it right.
Honorable Segun Odebumi, the sponsor of the Press Council Amendment Bill. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I want to say this, that even presently, the content of Nigeria, they should work on it. Otherwise, the colonial masters are working on to take a lot of things out of the Nigeria. Nigeria content should be protected in Nigeria to safeguard our people. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Seun Okinbale. Bye for now.